Imagine trying something 10,000 times and failing every single time. Most people would stop after 10 attempts. Some might try 100, but 10,000 failures? That sounds insane. Yet one man did exactly that, and because he refused to quit, the world was changed forever. His name was Thomas Edison, the man who lit the world with the electric light bulb. But what most people don't know is this. Before becoming one of the greatest inventors in history, Edison was considered a failure. He struggled in school. He lost jobs. His experiments exploded. People mocked him, and investors doubted him. But Edison understood something powerful about success. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the path to success. This is the story of how a boy who was called slow and incapable became the man who changed the world. Thomas Edison was born in 1847 in Ohio, United States. From the beginning, life wasn't easy. As a child, Edison had trouble focusing in school. He asked too many questions. He was curious about everything. But instead of encouraging that curiosity, his teachers became frustrated. One day, a teacher told Edison's mother something devastating. They said, "Your son is too stupid to learn anything." Imagine hearing that as a child, being told that you are not intelligent enough to succeed. Most children would believe those words. Most parents would accept them. But Edison's mother refused. She pulled him out of school and decided to teach him herself. She believed in something the world could not yet see. The curiosity inside her son was not stupidity. It was genius waiting to be discovered. Young Edison became obsessed with learning, but not in the traditional way. He didn't just read books. He experimented. He tested things. He wanted to understand how the world worked. He once turned the family basement into a small laboratory. Bottles, chemicals, wires, and strange devices filled the room. Sometimes experiments exploded. Sometimes they failed. But every failure taught Edison something new. He later said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is what separated Edison from everyone else. Most people fear failure. Edison treated failure like information. Each mistake brought him closer to the answer. At a young age, Edison worked selling newspapers on trains. But he didn't just sell newspapers. He printed his own newspaper inside the train baggage car. It was one of the first newspapers ever printed on a moving train. But one day, an experiment went wrong. A chemical reaction caused a small explosion. The conductor became furious. Edison was kicked off the train. He lost his job. Most people would have felt defeated. But Edison simply moved on to the next opportunity. Because he understood something important. Losing one opportunity does not mean losing your future. Edison became obsessed with invention. He studied electricity. He studied telegraphs. He studied mechanics. He worked long hours, sometimes 18 hours a day. While other people slept, Edison worked in his laboratory. He failed again and again. But every failure was another lesson. Eventually, Edison created his first successful invention, the electric vote recorder. But there was a problem. No one wanted it. Politicians preferred slow voting. They rejected his invention. Another failure. But Edison learned a critical lesson. Don't invent things people don't need. Invent things people can't live without. Edison's greatest challenge came when he tried to invent the electric light bulb. At the time, lighting came from candles or gas lamps. Both were dangerous. Both were expensive. Edison wanted to create something revolutionary, a light powered by electricity. But the challenge was enormous. Thousands of materials were tested. Filaments burned out. Glass bulbs exploded. Experiments failed over and over again. Some investors started losing faith. But Edison refused to quit. One day, after thousands of experiments, he finally discovered the right material, a carbonized filament that could glow for hours. For the first time in history, electric light became practical. The world would never be the same again. People later asked Edison, "How did it feel to fail 10,000 times?" Edison answered with confidence, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I successfully discovered 10,000 ways that would not work." That answer reveals a powerful truth. Successful people see failure differently. Where others see defeat, they see progress. Where others see embarrassment, they see information. Where others stop, they continue. Edison eventually created over 1,000 inventions, including the phonograph, motion picture cameras, electric power systems. He became one of the most famous inventors in history. But his real secret wasn't intelligence. It was relentless persistence. Edison once said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration," meaning success isn't about talent, it's about effort. In 1914, disaster struck. Edison's laboratory caught fire. Years of work were destroyed. Millions of dollars worth of equipment burned. Edison was 67 years old. Most people would retire after such a loss. But Edison looked at the fire and said something shocking. He told his son, "Go get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again." Why? Because he believed the fire had burned away his mistakes, and now he could start fresh. Within weeks, Edison rebuilt the laboratory and continued inventing. The story of Thomas Edison teaches a powerful lesson. Failure is not the end. Failure is a training ground of greatness. Every successful person you admire has failed. Many times. The difference is simple. They refused to quit. They kept going when others stopped. They kept believing when others doubted, and that persistence eventually changed their lives. So the next time life knocks you down, remember this story. Remember the man who failed 10,000 times. Remember the boy who was told he was too stupid to learn. Remember the inventor whose laboratory burned to the ground. And yet, he changed the world. Because success does not belong to the smartest. It belongs to the ones who refuse to quit.